Disclaimer, copyrights enforced. The following is based on true events, facts, fiction, second-party observations, nonsense, hearsay, bullshit. You be the judge. One thing we guarantee is 100% pure entertainment. All names, places, persons, and things, etc. have been changed for privacy issues. This show is R-rated, may contain obscene language, nudity, not for persons under 18. Please listen responsibly. I'm ready, bros. I'm ready. Welcome. Blow Hard Talk Hard here with Julian and producer Pat.
Yo, yo, yo. Hello.
Hi, Pat. How are you?
It's been a while.
It's been a good... I think we haven't aired an episode for 2 weeks now.
Been a couple weeks.
I feel kind of disappointed in ourselves because we said we were never going to miss a week, listeners, but you know what? Shit happens in life.
Yeah, the weather was nice, and you guys each had... You both had car trouble on the same day.
That was the real bitch of the fucking thing, man. My car fucking really freaked me out, man. Like when you have it's always, I used to have a saying, go change your oil, it's $500. Because these mechanics always find something.
Oh, for sure.
And then this time what he found? The steering wheel. The knuckle, he goes, one knuckle's broken, so he goes, we got to replace this, otherwise you're going to go into a wall.
Okay, well, I'm glad you had it replaced.
Yeah, there goes $1,000.
Yes.
You know what I mean? The 500 theory is like, okay. Anyways, that's not a big deal, car maintenance, you want to drive. But this is the fucked up thing. I used to tell people, because my car, if I lose this car, say it went, I wouldn't buy another car because I live downtown, Uber, blah, 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 right?
Yeah, I'm the same. That's why I don't drive.
No, you don't drive because you're an idiot.
That's little some, little the other.
Anyways, bottom line is, I take that off the table. You need a car. I don't give a fuck where you live. I stayed home for 4 days. I went to buy a pack of smokes. I went around the block. I was like, this is ridiculous. One time I had to go to Walmart. I'm like, I took on Uber. Every time you need to go somewhere, even if you live downtown, how do you go? You walk. You're crazy.
I'm a
You're crazy. You walk from Dufferin and King all the way to fucking Eglinton and Dufferin. That's an hour walk. Who does that?
I do.
That's why you're in good shape. But who else really does that?
Yeah, I don't know of anyone else who does that.
To go for a real, a casual walk right now just to say, okay, but you walk.
Yeah.
You're a machine.
I walk to work every day, 360. Doesn't matter the weather. I never take the transit or anything.
The transit, I can't go on the subway.
No, I hate it. That's what drives you crazy, and that's where you get sick and everything like that.
I believe that, because when I used to work far when I was younger, going all the way to Scarborough, whatever, on the train, people come beside you. I just can't do that. But the point is, when I said I don't need a car, you need a car in Toronto.
Yeah, well, it is, and if you want to do anything slightly interesting, it does make a...
No, even if you just want to go out for a drink, even if you just want to go buy something, if you want to go to the shopping, how do you go?
Well, speaking of going for a drink, how we got here, we had to drive, because where are we?
We're live today. We're taping live. That's why there was no ding-ding. We're at the Thirsty Fox Pub, 1028 Eglinton Avenue West. Johnny Love at the Thirsty Fox Pub. He's letting us use the basement.
Yeah, we're having a couple
It's actually not a basement, it's the banquet room.
Yeah, actually, we got foosball, we got pool,
It's not called foosball. That's hilarious.
What do you call it?
What's it called? Listeners,
table
foosball.
Soccer? Foosball is always what I call it. Why? What do you call it?
You see, where we were born, it's called Jatoni.
Well, wait a second.
And we Googled, you never heard that?
Never.
We Googled it.
Okay.
Because when I was growing up, it was always in those Italian pool halls, it was always Jatoni. And then the Canadian people started calling it table soccer or foosball.
I've never heard
and
of it. And
we've always called it Jatoni. I guarantee you people know it as Jatoni. When we go upstairs, ask Johnny, he'll tell you Jatoni. But then there's other guys at the bar who have no clue. They call it like you, soccer or...
It's always been foosball to me.
Foosball. Why is it foosball?
Well,
what's a foos?
Well, what does Jatoni mean? I don't even know what...
There was a Wikipedia reply, Jatoni, the Jatone, you put the coin in, I don't know. Okay. I don't get it. I always thought it was because we used to hang out in those pool halls, and the fathers were always named Tony.
Yeah.
And he put the soccer game in there, hey, Tony, we play some Jatoni? I don't know.
Yeah, Giacomo, Johnny and Tony are over there playing the whack-a-mole.
But it's legitimately called Jatoni, and then the other names are also on the list. But nobody knows that word Jatoni unless you're born in the hoods.
I just learned it today, and I'm never going to call it foosball again. I think that's...
Jatoni. That's it. It's the coolest name. But again, nobody knows it unless you're from the hoods.
I used to be good at foosball. Oh, sorry, Jatone. But,
Jatone.
haven't played in many, many years.
You don't have to play. It's like riding a bike. Things like that. Me and my buddy played just for fuck that day. Because he brought the table, I bust them up. It's like riding a bike.
You don't
forget. Pool,
I admire seeing people who are so good at it. Like sometimes you see the really competitive, like anything, like watching ping pong.
That was what I was just about to say. The only sport that really, really is impressive is ping pong. Like those in the Olympics, you see those fucking guys play.
It blows my mind.
How do they do that?
I don't know. I just watched this crazy on YouTube. I wish I could. I'll try and find it for you after. But like the wildest rally I've ever seen in my life that literally blew my mind.
I believe you.
But again, that was one of my favorite when I was watching the Olympics, like 5 a.m. I was watching ping pong and I was
How hard do they hit the ball? How fast does that ball go?
I would like to know what it clocked because
it's got to clock 200.
It's very fast.
Because a baseball, let's say the guy's 100, like a tennis server is 130. That ball's flying.
Tennis.
Yeah, tennis, they serve, the men serve 130.
Yeah, but ping pong's got to be close when they're like in a serious rally and the guy's just hammering.
Those guys hit that ball 200. Those guys are, I don't get it. And they don't even get paid. But it's supposedly a big sport.
Well, in China, it's massive. Like, again, Asia, it's a huge sport, and I think it's now, like, grown in North America.
Yeah, but they're not like, big money. Who knows if they're, maybe they are.
I'm sure, like there's professional level of it, so, like, there's probably sponsorships, and there's probably, like, ping pong celebrities
you know what? You watch that stupid darts on the English channel. 140!
Yeah,
they have cheerleaders, they got fucking fans. Yeah, it's like, look at these 3 fat fucks throwing darts, and the people are going crazy, and, like,
that's probably one of the few pro sports where a guy will like finish up 3 packs of cigarettes over the course of like an actual match.
And there's cheerleaders, 140. I'm like, yeah, give me the fucking darts, man.
And they're still better at darts than me too. I actually find the guys who are pretty good at darts. Any kind of those weird.
I'm good at darts too. I'm not a champion, but I can play it.
But I always find any of those weird sports that people are really good at, I find compelling, even like more than just your standard pro sports. But
this is very interesting now. I never grew up playing video games.
Okay.
Because I can't stand people who sit there and waste their fucking... I played some pinball, but I never gave my money to the Miss Pac-Man or Galax. I hated that shit. Kids that did that, they love that shit today. We were always outside on the street playing Secret Agent. Or if we went to a pool, we played Jatoni. Yeah. We played pool. We played darts. We'd play hide and seek. We'd play Monopoly board game on my veranda for $20 each. And then at the end, who wins the game would win the $20.
Real money Monopoly.
Well, it's $20. It wasn't real, but
the thing is, but like real stakes.
It makes it worth playing. Yeah.
Oh man, I bet there was some like angry.
It was fun. It was very fun actually because you get intense. But see, a guy like you, everybody's like computer savvy. Like they play video games. They don't know how to play darts and stuff like that.
I've been weirdly just bringing this up because I've just been studying the whole idea of play. Like designing games and like just the idea of play, because I don't know how much playing kids do anymore.
Huge.
That is not screen based, like on a tablet or on a video game. Like are going out and playing make believe.
No.
Hide and seek.
Zero.
You know, again,
maybe there's no kids though, like there used to be.
Or are they inside? Like again, I watched a lot of TV as a kid, but we spent a lot of time, just as much time outside playing games and.
On our street, they put the no playing sports on the sidewalk, on the street, because we used to play hockey, like ball hockey, slash the cars, and then the street above, the guys above the street would play, and below us would play.
Yeah.
Now you don't even see one kid with a thing. Once in a while, you see a kid in the backyard. His dad bought him a basketball hoop, and he's shooting by himself for 5 minutes. Then he runs inside and plays fucking Warcraft or whatever.
Yeah, NBA 2K. He plays the video game version of basketball.
And that's the sad part. Those video games my buddy plays for 3 hours and you pay to play. Now there's even porn. Is it Warcraft? Am I talking? What's that big thing that's so popular?
Well, there's a whole legion. There's like Call of Duty, Warcraft.
That one. But the Warcraft one, they have the one that they have a porn on Pornhub where the big demon guy fucks the little blonde broad, and it's so detailed, the graphics, the dick, the saliva, it's amazing.
Yeah, well, what I'm going to do, we'll pitch for an episode coming of us. We'll all sit down and we'll play it, and we'll come and talk to the audience about our experience.
I don't know how to play that.
We'll figure it out. Like that'll be the funny. If you were like, I couldn't do it and it sucked, we'll chat about it.
I'll even go one further. I was talking to this girl. She plays it, and she even told me she masturbated to it. I'm like, the cartoons? She goes, yeah. She's really into it. But never mind that. Let's skip that. She watches people playing.
Oh, that's a massive audience.
I go, what do you mean? I go, so it's like you're watching this guy play the video game, but you're not playing the video game.
No.
She goes, no. I go, oh,
why are you watching him though? She goes, it's fun. It's this. I go, I'm fucking really, like, I don't want to be stupid and like tell her.
Yeah.
I go, that is the stupidest thing I've heard. But on the other hand, when we watch a soccer game,
It's
the same
not like,
thing?
no, like they call it esports.
Esports, yeah.
And it is massive. These
yeah,
guys
it's on the
can-
gambling sites. You could bet it.
You can bet on them, and I mean, this might lead us into maybe what we thought we might talk about today, because
NFL's back. Jays are hot.
and is it some of them fixed? Because there is, like, if you're dealing with video games,
100%.
how easy is it to like goose it, like, right? You know,
Well, like I was just telling you about the
And big
blackjack.
money, yeah.
About the blackjack. You're playing against a computer. My buddy one time he goes, I won $5,000. The next day he lost 20.
so does it know? Like, it's
It
like,
knows, of course it knows. It lets you win.
Yeah.
And then after it takes it all back. But I was trying to fuck with the computer. I was betting $2, $1, $2, 3 hands, $5, 20, and then I would do a big hit, and then I would do a little bit. So bottom line, I was up 1,600. This is true story.
Yeah.
And then all of this just happened recently. I was up 1,600. All of a sudden, I'm down to $200. I go, you fucking, because you know why? I got 20. The dealer has a 4. You know what happens? The dealer gets 4, 7, 8, 21.
So because you're gonna
Motherfucker.
stay on 20 like that. You're playing
That's
standard.
a guaranteed win, 20. Then I
Yeah.
get 19. The dealer has a 6. 6, 2, 5, 21 again. I go, look at this shit. They're taking all my money on purpose because I was too high. Anyways, but you know what happened? The 200, I go, fuck it, it's all gone. Double up. 200 bet, blackjack.
Yeah.
Put it again, fuck it, blackjack. I'm up 8 again. I went to 12. I go, fuck them. I cashed out at 1,000. But the bottom line is, I think because you're playing what we're talking about against the computer, it's like those games in the bars. They rigged them
Well, yeah.
to
like,
control the percentage of payout.
well, because like that they are not going to program slot machines to pay more money than the house wants to win.
No, they're like 70-30, 60-40, depending on what time of day, but they have to pay.
Yeah, well, they have to pay out, but at the same time, they're never going to not be profitable. Like, so they're
They're
never.
the biggest profit in Vegas slot machines. They make the most money for
Yeah.
those casinos.
I know
25 cents, it doesn't sound like much, but it adds up.
I think the best blackjack is I think it's a 90% to the house.
It's a house game.
Yeah, but blackjack's your best odds in terms of overall payout. Like the way that the odds work is that I think it's something like 90% of all the money will be paid out. So like the house will always take 10%. So like in terms of like,
I don't know about that. Those figures sound way too high. 90%?
it's something that was the one that I was always like, okay, so if you're gonna play any sort of gambling, blackjack is your best odds of being, at least if you play sort of standard.
I understand what you're saying. I don't know about that. I think it's the easiest one for people, so that's why you might say that. Blackjack is a game about a roller coaster, knowing when to go in for the ride and knowing when not to play. Because if you see all these cards, it's like you see when that movie 21.
Yeah.
Now the guy walks in, and all of a sudden his $20 bet turns to $200 because now the cards are coming good.
But it's also based on the table you play with, because if you play with a shitty table who don't know sort of standard rules of blackjack, it really fucks up the cards. Like you can have a table of players.
You can't play like with those people; they'll kill you.
No, well, because if you're all playing against the house and everyone is sort of
Playing properly,
then the table should have better odds of being more profitable.
That's the way you should play. Again, when I was playing on the computer, if you have a 4 and the dealer's got a 6, you stay. That dealer's got to go over. But on the computer, he'd get 21. But in real life, he'd bust. I used to deal when I had the stag company.
Yeah.
I dealt blackjack because I could count.
Yeah.
This one guy took a card, 10, but he wasn't supposed to because the dealer was supposed to bust. Told him, hey man, play properly, blah, blah, blah. The guy did it again. You know what happened? He broke his jaw.
Yeah, no, that's
he
it.
leaned across, one shot, out.
Because you fuck up the cards, and it's true.
That's why you can't go to those casinos. If the guy's playing big money, you can't sit down over there and try to be a smartass. My motto was, you can do whatever, it's my money. But no, it's not really.
No,
You're ruining the game.
And because I've also sat down when I used to play blackjack a lot at a table, and you'd be with some good players who
playing the proper way,
and
doubling
they'd be
down.
like, and you'd get
this,
down,
that.
and you'd be dismayed, and they'll be like, just listen, we're all gonna keep playing, and they'll help you get back. Like if you do it, like the odds should be in your favor.
Yeah.
And I saw it happen where like they clawed a person back to at least, parity or like.
Well, the bottom line is
if
if you play properly, if you got a 14 and the dealer's got a 16, we're assuming. Why would you take that card? You're going to get a 10. Let him get the 10 and bust, and that's the way you're supposed
because
to
they
play.
must hit, and they got to
They
hit
have
on,
to
like,
hit, exactly.
must hit on soft side.
You know what? I like blackjack, but again, I remember in Aruba, we were bombed, had $100. I go, it was nighttime. This fucking motherfucking dealer, ready? Goes. He went so fucking fast. All of a sudden I looked, my $100 was gone. I go, this piece, because he was a speed dealer. There's a difference. See, dealers, that's why the pit boss always changes dealers.
Yeah.
So, because either they're running a bad streak or the dealers it's all superstition. A lot of gambling is superstition.
Oh, so much of it is weird mental thing. It's like, because...
Change the deck. Why?
Yeah, we got to get 5 new decks in here or whatever
Yeah.
like that. We got to get new dice.
I wonder how they're doing the casinos these days.
I'd be curious to know Vegas. I don't know what, because
even Toronto, my buddy is a dealer. He deals.
they're back open, so...
He goes that every night they have to scrub the chips. I go, but what about the cards? He goes, you don't touch the cards in blackjack. I go, okay, but what about the chips?
So yeah.
He goes, yeah, but it was weird the way he explained it. I go, do you wear gloves? He was an idiot. This guy really can't talk to him well because he doesn't get it. But let's take a little break. We'll come back. We'll talk a little bit about the Jays, NFL, a little bit of sports gambling, and that's about it. We'll be right back, listeners.
Ding, ding.
Hello, listeners. This is Reimer from Blow Hard, Talk Hard, and we want you to like, subscribe, and review. I'm going to talk you through this. You're going to go, yes, love this show, and put your comments on there. Right now, we are the #1 adult sex talk show in Toronto. We are huge over in Europe, and we want you to continue making us bigger, if you know what I mean.
Welcome back, listeners. Blow Hard, Talk Hard here. Julian and
Producer Pat.
producer Pat. You know what? We forgot to mention Reimer is on a bit of a hiatus.
He also had car trouble.
Yeah, he had a car trouble or a van trouble. He's got that stupid rack on top of the van. he's like, what do those people put up there? Like skis?
Well, he was renovating his house, so I think he was
What are those things called? Racks? No.
a ski rack or whatever you want to call
I
it.
hate those fucking things. You ever drive behind you don't drive really, but when you drive behind a guy like that or a pickup truck and he packages all this and he puts 2 ropes.
Yeah.
Well, then I was on the 401, all of a sudden a ladder flew off. Like I was like kind of far back, so I didn't think. But if I was thinking about it, that thing would have came right through the windshield, which it has, and other people have gotten killed.
Oh, yeah.
You got to tie that stuff down, man. Like you got to use your brains.
I did work as a window washer for a little while up in my 20s, and one time we forgot to tie the ladder, and we're driving in a huge, like,
Yeah.
30, and we were like, we were so lucky we didn't kill it.
You're on the highway?
No, we were luckily in just a residential street pulling away, but we came around a corner and the ladder just went flying like a missile.
Yeah.
And we're like, holy fuck.
That's crazy stuff. You got to always tie that shit down.
No, yes, exactly.
I remember we were fucking driving we rented a cube van to do a stag party. It was a big one. And we had the chips loose in the back, and the 1,000 chips in a case. It's fucking like 60 pounds.
Yeah.
And we floored the brakes all of a sudden. But there was a protector from the cube van to the driving seat. The chips came fucking flying across. Bang! I'm like, oh my God, this nonsense. Okay. Anyways, getting back to that Jays NFL. You like the NFL? I like the NFL. You watch the NFL?
I don't watch it as much, but I like to watch the NFL. I still have yet to see a live game. It's on my bucket list of things to do because I do like enjoy
You should go. Like especially now. Before it was Buffalo was the armpit of America.
Yeah.
Buffalo's a good team now.
Yeah, they're competitive.
Well, they got their quarterback now. Once you get a quarterback like him and he's got good receivers, they're gonna win.
How are the Lions? Because that would be the other alternative is to go down to Detroit.
I think they're shit still. They traded their quarterback.
But it
Mark
might be
Stafford.
easier to get a ticket. But they do those little tours where you take the bus
They still
down.
do them? I remember doing that before for Buffalo, but to go to Buffalo is not a big deal. But I don't know, during COVID or whatever, the border, the headaches. But Orchard Park there, it's pretty it's ghetto.
Well, welcome to Buffalo.
But they party heavily. They're drinking there there's no rules there. You could just drink. People are fucking, you know how many fights are during a game? There's the yellow jackets that say security.
Yeah.
If you just sat down and watched the yellow jackets, I honestly would think there's 100 fights every NFL game. You can see the security guards lunging over chairs, grabbing, because everybody's obliterated. It's hilarious because they drink that warm, ugly piss beer after a while. I remember we went to the duty free. Me and it was 4 of us. We pitched in $50 each and bought a bottle of XO cognac. It was $200. The Louis, the XO. It was $200 duty free, and we brought it to tailgate with.
Yeah.
So we're over there, and we had some beers too. We bought beers, were like whatever. So people are watching us, and we're doing like, it was a small bottle, so we're doing shots of X. So people are like, "Are you guys drinking that for fun?" Yeah, we're tailgating, man. We're like, it was fucking hilarious.
That's awesome. VIPs.
Yeah, VIP. Like they thought we were rich. We put in $50, but at the end of the day, fuck.
Here's a question. Well, do you think, because I was just thinking the other day about Inflategate, remember, with the football.
Inflategate, what is that?
It was when, wasn't it our boy Tom Brady, underinflating the football so it could...
Oh, do they cheat?
Is there fixing in pro sports? Like, I'm curious at the level, because...
Of course there is, man.
Because there's so
They've
much...
gotten caught many of times.
Yeah.
Like real fix. Like the Italian soccer league got caught. They suspended them for 4 games.
Well, there's a famous MLB story from like the 30s or whatever.
But see, going back in the older days, it was easier. Now it's hard because the players make too much money. What are you going to give Tom Brady to fix a game?
Yeah, what's his incentive?
His incentive is what? You're gonna give him $1 million. The guy makes $50 million. He's not gonna throw a game. Plus, if he gets caught, his reputation. It's not like it was.
You need him, or is it the guys who are like just scraping by, like?
But nobody scrapes by if you're on a professional team. Somebody will know. Like, remember the White Sox when they threw the World Series back in the day, in the 30s, whatever it was?
Yeah.
That was 8 guys did it.
8 Men Out. That's a good movie, man.
That was a really good movie. But they all got caught. And then today, like I know the Italian Serie guys got caught for soccer, but I forget how. I'm sure in those kind of countries, Colombian soccer, you get one guy, hey, if you have a penalty kick, miss it. Or the goalie let in something shit.
Or the ref, I don't know, but...
the ref could call a bad call, but then you're still depending. Like, one sport is notorious, I would say, was, if you ever watch that guy, Michael Franzese, he has a podcast too. He's the ex-mafia boss.
Okay.
He made all of that money on the skimming of gas money.
Okay.
And like they wouldn't pay tax, and he'd keep opening companies, closing them, opening, and he would just take a penny every liter. In the meantime, he was bringing home $30 million a week. And then he was saying some of his other scams were basketball, college.
Yeah, see, college sports I think is the big one because those guys...
They're not allowed to take incentive gifts, cars, or whatever.
They're not pro, right?
They're not pro, and they're poor. Some of them are gonna be rich, but
some not. Like, again, how many...
Well, they approach a couple of guys who they think, and they go, listen, we'll give you 20 grand. This is what he said. We approach him, we'll give you 20 grand. You are favored by 9. Win by 6.
Well, yeah, it's just controlling the spread usually, right?
That's all it is. He goes, I'm not telling you to lose. Win by 6. And don't win by 9, I'll give you 20 grand. So now if this guy, he's probably the best player on the team. So at the end, if he's got to make a 3-pointer to shoot, he'll miss it by make it look good. Yeah. That's how they supposedly would be able to do that. But in boxing, another sport.
Well, boxing's the most notorious one.
In the old days, even maybe not today.
Well, I wonder, because I just remember seeing an interview with Hulk Hogan, and he was just talking about, like, I know a lot of pro boxing, and it's just much like wrestling. Like he was comparing it to his own job. And I'm
well, you know what they say in the 6th round, go down, blah, blah, blah. How do you know? You know, it's all about money these days, man.
Yeah.
And you know, the other thing is sometimes it's not even about money. It's about they threaten you.
Yeah,
like,
well, again.
If you don't do it, I'm going to fucking kill you. You know, especially those like South American soccer teams and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
They wanted to kill the referee.
Well, exactly.
Or he wanted to kill the player that missed the shot in the World Cup. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you people?
I wonder if you think UFC, well, again, because it's any of these sort of like combat sports, it's like, and
then all it takes is one shot, you go down. If I can make $20 million on a bet.
You just got to tap out. Like, no one really knows exactly whether you can breathe or not. Again, we're not like
no, we're not
like,
doing it. We're not pretending we're experts here. Like to say in hockey, the Maple Leafs, Austin Matthews or the goalie that's in a shit goal. Could he do it? I guess he could. Would he do it? I don't think so.
Hockey is would be the hardest one to fix because it's such a fast sport and like the
but
balancing.
You would need the goalie. You would need the goalie.
It would all be the goalie because like you couldn't, yeah.
He'd be the guy to let in the goal. An easy goal. You could just say, oops, I muffed it. And they always muff goals, right?
Yeah.
Like, how the fuck did he not stop that?
The ref just has to call a But again, now with video, like...
No, the ref can't be involved. The goalie is the key in soccer.
But...
and in the NFL, I don't know who you would get.
Well, the NFL, again, it could be like just a receiver. Like he just has to miss a play. Or kicking. Well, the kicker would be the big one, but I don't know. But again...
What about if the running back fumbles it at the ball at the right time?
Yeah,
Like,
or
so
just-
that way it gives, instead of them scoring 7, he fumbles it, and then the other team gets
He
it.
just has to miss one first down. Like he just has to instead of running, he just has to run.
Where are
one
we
less
going
yard.
with this conversation?
Well, I was just thinking. I was just again, and this.
Because I'm
I
really
was
confused here.
having a weird. Well, we were talking about gambling before, but I was thinking about the Blue Jays, who are red hot right now, and looking down the barrel of the playoffs. And we all like them, but like, if there was sort of a grand scheme now.
Oh, there is.
That to be like, you know what would be very advantageous for sort of this modern, like again, if we're looking at it through a sort of a conspiracy theory lens, and this is just me having.
I know where you're going with this.
Would it be like having the Toronto Blue Jays go to the World Series?
No good.
But in terms of not what you're thinking of, in terms of like making sort of vaccinated people and vaccine passes a more like enticing thing, because you would be packing the stadium, it'd be a reason for people wanting to go to the bars. Like it would be in a giant city like Toronto, which is bigger than Chicago, so we're like basically the 4th biggest city in North America.
3rd.
And the biggest in Canada. If you were going to really want to sort of cement the idea of people accepting having a pass to get into places, having something as big as the Blue Jays go to the World Series would be a massive, like, promotional.
Okay, there's 2 ways to look at that. Let's just pretend there isn't no COVID either. Do you think MLB wants the Blue Jays to make it the World Series? Back in 93, 94 when they won, they'd rather have LA play the Yankees.
Well, they cratered it because the Expos were going to go that next year, and that was the.
Do you think when the Jays make it, anybody in the States watches it? Because they lose so much viewership because they hate basketball. You think they wanted the Raptors to play Golden? They wanted an American team.
Yeah, well, the broadcasting thing is aside, it's a crazy thing. Yeah, like.
But I'll give you an example. LA, Montreal, LA, Toronto, 1993, when Wayne Gretzky high stick Doug Gilmour. And that was a guaranteed penalty. They didn't want the Maple Leafs to win because that would have been Montreal play Toronto in the finals. And there's no way the NHL wanted that. The NHL wanted LA to play Montreal. That way they could get their fans, right?
Yeah.
And the ref never called a high sticking, which was to this day, everybody who's listening to me right now is saying, if you want to talk about fucking fixes, that was a blown call on purpose. Because how much money was in LA and how much money would there have not been if Toronto played Montreal? We would have loved it, but who else would have loved it?
Well, it was the same year. The next year, they did when the Flames in '90, they scored that goal, but they didn't. Well, and in 2004, they didn't want the Flames to go to the.
Nobody wants the Canadian team to go like that. The States always wants to control everything. Batman doesn't want, like, even baseball, anything. Baseball, terrible sport because there was only one team. They don't want the Jays to go.
No, but I'm just wondering. Not looking at it from a money standpoint, because for sometimes things might rise above money. I'm just going to make an interesting. It's
always about money, number one. But go on.
Well, yeah, but if we're looking for like in the future, is it worth it for the true powers that be to say, like, let's get the Toronto to go deep into the playoffs, so we can cement an idea of getting people really on board with vaccine passports in.
Oh, you're talking about COVID here.
Well, because for this moment.
I'm very uneducated about these passport things, but you know what?
Yeah,
I went online yesterday to see if I could buy Blue Jay tickets.
Yeah.
For the Yankees coming up in 2 weeks.
Didn't you get tickets for September? I thought you were going to go.
I was going to, but I didn't because they're very expensive and they're all in the 200 levels. Excuse me. You have to be vaccinated.
No, well, there was
says it.
And there was just a story of a poor guy who came all the way from Winnipeg, bought this series for Tampa Bay. He had his proof of vaccination, double vaccinated, his driver's license, all the stuff, and the security guard was still like, "No, I can't accept this," and told him to get lost. And
that makes no sense. Why?
Well, and Rogers reached out and apologized to him, but it's like, well, then they still don't know what they're doing then. But like,
no. Right now it's official. You need to be vaccinated to go in to watch the Jays. You need to have your barcode on your phone or whatever.
Yeah, and so like, is it going to be like to get people more used to that because they still don't know what they're doing and it's confusing? Will having them do a deep run into the playoffs sort of acclimatize people and incentivize them? Because also think about like if they want people to have to use it for every restaurant and everything.
They
like
are.
That. So what would be the best way to get people out and about filling bars and restaurants again? Is if all of a sudden it's the.
I don't know, buddy. It's going to be a slow process, though. I don't think it's going to be until like 2022. like until people start to feel, like you said, comfortable going out with this. And they are going to all have the vax. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that I know everything, but you know for a fact you're not. If you don't want to get vaccinated, great. That's good for you. But you're not going to be able to go nowhere.
Well, yeah, they're gonna.
They're not making it mandatory, but they are. As you understand that,
Yeah,
you're
well,
smart.
of course.
Everybody out there is smart. But again, the Jays, you need to have vaccination.
Yeah. You know, the other thing, an interesting thing, is that they don't do at Rogers now anymore. Rogers Center, they do not take any cash. You can only purchase with cards.
They started that, eh? You sure about that?
Yeah, because there was just a guy who was a police officer who was
That's
working there.
bullshit.
No, it's true. Yeah, well, the guy
Because
a guy bought 2 beers, which was funny enough was $35. Which
Cash
to me
is
was
king, man. It's a currency. How can you just reject it all of a sudden at the major league fucking
the
stadium?
security almost had to tase this guy for having that same argument and getting pissed off when he bought 2 beers, and like the police officer was like, "Hey, I was on the guy's side because it's total bullshit, but we still had to throw the guy out of the." Well, eventually his friend came with a card and paid, but it just about caused a riot.
Yeah, that's bullshit. Like I remember during the beginning of the pandemic, they were doing like you walked into the Canadian Tire stuff. Some stores weren't taking currency, but then they all stopped. You got to take currency, man. Until they say there's no more money, what the fuck you doing? Why would the Major League Baseball not take it?
Because
Why
they
would
want, again, it's an experience. They want you getting used to the fact that you don't use money.
See, I don't
anymore.
even want to talk about that,
Yeah.
but in 2-3
But the
years.
fix is in, that kind of going in the thing.
It is doing. They want money off the fucking table, obviously. But at the end of the day, fuck that, man. Cash is still king.
So everybody out there, though, every Friday, it's a good policy. Is just only use money. Even if you don't use it, like every Friday, use only cash. Just to keep cash in circulation, the best thing you can do is to use it.
Fuck, I always use cash.
Well, yeah, you're the Mr. Cash.
Well, I don't have a fucking. Why would you use Visa every day? Like it makes no sense to me.
I am bad. I use my bank card to pay for a lot of stuff, and admittedly, I should use money more.
Well, I don't know.
Because again, I don't know how the casinos would deal with it, but like, because again, they're like.
Oh, you give your card in, and then they're just going to give you chips. They're going to have their.
But then you get it back on your card, like they're going to give you a digital voucher back.
Yeah.
So again, the world of vice and stuff, I think will still like.
They'll find a way.
Yeah, the underground always.
They're gonna find a way. Like, how are you gonna pay for fucking 100 kilos of coke? Not with cash.
Or blowjobs, like.
Yeah, like you're gonna obviously figure out a way to fucking.
Gonna have her like a little machine every.
Those mobsters will fucking whoever they are, will figure out a fucking system of how to get paid. Trust me.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Everybody got to pay. That's the end of the day story. Remember, you got to pay one way or another. Okay, guys. Pat, it's been a pleasure. Reimer, wherever you are, hopefully it's all good. I just wanted to say we're out of here, people. But thank you to Johnny Love for letting us use the Thirsty Fox as a headquarters. Other than that, Pat, what do you got to say?
Have a great week.
Stay safe, people.
Go Jays.
Go Jays. Julian,
Here's Pat.
we're out, people.